Ozonics Killerwinds podcast back again. We got the nuke. We got me.
Let's roll, boys.
Let's do this.
Let's roll, boys. Let's roll, boys.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? Guess what it is? Guess what's happened? It's officially hunting season. Thank you. I know, I agree with you. We're letting the applause play. It is officially bow hunting season in Iowa.
Yep. October 1st. It is October 1st.
It's October 1st. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's time for the adventure to begin, baby.
Yep. Yep. Me and Cole got our first hunt out of the year. First hunt of the year out of the way this morning.
The gun.
Yep.
The starting gun went off.
Yep. First bow hunt, I should say.
Yep. The proverbial gun we were bow hunting, but the starting gun. That's what I was referring to.
Yep.
Yep. It is official.
Yep.
And you know what? We did something a little different today.
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow start to the year camera wise. Of course, the first week, as it always is, dealing with some south winds, which the farm that we were hunting this morning is not the best for south wind, especially when there's corn.
And even worse than a south wind, what really doesn't help is southeast winds.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we had this morning.
We had a southeast wind. We've had a lot of southeast winds, and it is not helping us.
Yeah, and it's deer movement seems a little bit down, I would say, looking at cameras.
Again, like we talked about before, it's a every other year deal, and this year we've got a lot of corn.
Yeah.
And so it's just making it really,
and
really
we know
tough.
the deer are there.
Oh, yeah.
The deer are there. It's just a lot of the spots where we have cameras and stuff are kind of set up for when the corn's gone. And so right now it feels a little bit slow, but I mean, man, it's October 1st. You can't not.
You can't not go on opening day.
Yeah, you got to go scratch that itch. And
oh, yeah. Because you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yep.
So we actually went into a spot that, it kind of feels like the way that farm lays out, there's almost like a southern half of it and the northern half of it. We spent a lot of our time on the northern half of it. The southern half is closer to the road. It's closer to the everything else, and it just doesn't. It's not that it's not a great area. It's a good spot. It's just it's nice to get away from everything.
Yeah, and it just feels like
it's where
if you have a chance to pick between the two, 95% of the time you're picking the north side.
Yeah. But again, it worked out. It works out really good, that southern half on a south wind, because it feels like a lot of the deer that that are on that south end end up kind of working towards the north end.
Yeah.
And so we got in a spot where didn't have a set hung, so we got in there really early.
Yeah.
Really early. I saw a shooting star.
Yeah.
That was cool. We were sitting in the stand in the dark.
Yeah.
Got in there really early. Do the best you can with red lights on your headlamps to kind of try to see where you're going.
Yeah.
And then found a tree that looked decent and just hung it and set up, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it did work good. I mean, I feel like we were thinking, man, it might be tough to find a good tree, especially kind of the area where we were going. But man, we walked right in, found a pretty good tree quick. It seemed like.
Yeah, it was like in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very far off the edge, and there was because like when you're going in on a hang and hunt like that, if you're in big woods, it can be kind of easy because you're like, okay, there's plenty of trees and there's plenty of space, and you're not going to be short on lanes. Being kind of on the edge like this, I was like, well, there's a lot of brush. Like we're able to find someplace where we can actually shoot.
Yeah.
It actually worked out great.
Yeah, it worked really good.
And again, it's not probably a spot that we want to stay all the time because there's not a lot of cover.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about that this morning.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like a general area where maybe before the crops come out, we might hit a little bit harder, but just feels like once the crops come out, we have so many really good spots that are set up perfect for that, that later in the season we'll probably shift our focus to that. But for now, it feels like a great spot for early season, I think.
So, yeah, I mean, it's nice because there's like a dike, that is right in the middle of that where it looks like it used to be like a dried up pond, and then it drops off into the kind of the northern half of it. And there's, this awesome two-track that kind of runs through it. And then all these deer trails are coming from the south.
Yeah.
And then there's that motocross track that's right there.
Yeah.
And we've got stands kind of on the northern half of that. And I've always looked at that corner, and Jet and I were in there a couple winters ago during second shotgun, sat down in there and just watched deer file across there. And so, again, just trying to think outside the box a little bit on a south wind. It's like we want to get out in the woods, but where do we go?
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it was like we said just a little bit ago. It was a really, really cool spot.
Yeah, and it was cool because, like I said, got up in there and got set up, and then barely light.
Yeah.
Well,
and just got to note this: turkeys roosted all over in there.
yeah.
It was crazy.
So I'm putting the steps on the tree, throwing straps around, tightening them up, and you can hear turkeys above us jumping from tree to tree. They weren't happy.
No.
Yeah, they were like, and then that owl, God, this owl, man, you would have thought, I think he was mad we woke him up. Seriously, he was not happy. He kept hooting and hooting and hooting. It's like, bro, it's like, just relax.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He just kept hooting and hooting.
Yeah, it was crazy. We must have set up right under a roost tree because it was funny because like you heard him kind of jumping around up there, but then once we got set up and the sun came out and stuff, like and it was light, then they kind of started flying down pretty consistently, you know?
Oh, yeah. There was at least probably...
There was a good handful.
Oh, yeah. It was like 8 to 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
So just got barely first light. I think sunrise like 7:07. So first light 6:30-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And then right at first light, you know, Nick looks down to the left, and here comes 2 deer just walking right down that dike road.
Yeah.
A little dike 2 track, and they walked right in front of us.
Yeah.
But I joked about it in the stand. I don't know what it is. I don't know how Nick does it exactly, but if Nick were a superhero, his superpower would be the ability to see deer in the woods. It's unbelievable. I didn't even say anything this morning, but I was bound and determined the other day when we went with Jet to be the first one to see a deer. And luckily, well, not luckily, because I wish we would have seen a deer, but we didn't. But you didn't see one first, and I was like, okay, here we go. I'm getting him today. Like, I was on my game. I'm looking all around. I'm really looking. And then all of a sudden, Nick just, like, taps me on the shoulder. I'm like, son of a gun. I'm like, I didn't even know where the deer were. He's like, oh, they're down to the left, like 70 yards. And I'm looking. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It was so dark.
Yeah, it was dark.
Actually, really lucky that I caught the movement of one where I did.
Yeah.
Because even
if it wouldn't have been that, it would have been...
They would have been on top of us.
Well, that was when I first saw them, because I had more of kind of the way that tree line laid out, you kind of had more of I was almost like parallel with it. You were a little bit more of a better angle than I was. So I'm like looking down these trees. I'm like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
And then when I finally saw them was when they stepped out. I mean, I was looking.
Yeah.
And I just could not find them. And then I saw, there they are at 10 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and it was
pretty wild.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of the fun part, also kind of annoying part about filming. I mean, it was plenty of light, but man, it was dark. It looked super dark in the camera.
Yeah.
And I had everything cranked way high, so I'll throw the clip in here, but it was pretty grainy just because it was. But it's like, man, if they would have came just 20 minutes later, it would have been just so perfect.
I know.
But
well, and it's funny. I was thinking about that as we were sitting there. It's so funny, and it's a testament to ozonics because we're always, like we all are. We're hunting the wind, hunting the wind, and so for days before this, we're looking at what's it going to be like? What are we going to have for wind? Southeast at 4 to 5, and then going to 5 to 10. And as the morning went on, I'm like, okay. So we get out there, counting on a southeast. We get all set up. I set my ozonics pointing to the northwest.
Yeah.
Counting on a southeast wind. I set it up, get it cranking, and right away I can smell the ozone. I'm like, okay, definitely not southeast.
Yeah.
It's like they need to put a thing on the weather app that's just make it a star, like a star wind.
Yeah.
Because the wind goes this way, that way, this way, that way, this way. It goes every direction except for the way that they say it's going to go.
Seriously.
I mean, it was going every which way in there. I mean, I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, crap. So then I point my ozonics like straight south. Then I did that. I'm like, oh, okay, they were good. 2 minutes later, smell it again. Oh, check the wind. Oh, now it's southeast again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But it was funny because those 2 bucks walked right down our the 2 track that we walked in on.
Yep.
And they came out right in front of us it was 12, 14 yards. Mm-hmm. And they got right to where we cut in the woods, and you could tell they could not figure it out.
Yeah.
They got kind of bummed up because they're like, well, wait a second. We were following this. We could smell them the whole way, and then all of a sudden it wasn't there. and you could see that one buck he was lifting his
the
nose,
second buck.
and it was switching all over.
Yeah.
And like I said, we had HR 600s over both of us, and worked out great. And like you said, just ended up just lollying off and then going off to the west and off across that bean field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really cool. And like you said, sometimes it's not about the buck that you're after; it's about the bucks it's the bucks and the does that you get by.
Yeah, for sure.
That morning or minutes before, or who knows how long before, that allows you to get to that one.
Yeah.
And so definitely, felt good to get past them like that.
Yeah.
Especially when, you saw me. I brought an extra Carhartt shirt and wore that when we set the stand. And I got down when you went to get up, and I took my shirt off. I was soaked.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
like,
it was
dang.
warm this morning.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like, warm for this time of year when you're trying to set a stand. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was awesome to get out. And like I said, it's just beautiful. Like when the wind started to gust up and all the leaves would start to fall.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I've been kind of surprised by, is like all the fields are turning so hard here, but the leaves are still really green.
Yeah. For sure.
We've had a lot of moisture. Now it's the faucet's kind of shut off, but we've had a lot of moisture, and just the leaves just aren't turning yet.
Yeah.
I've looked back at my phone, and it seems like in other years by 1st of October, it's farther along on color than it is right now, but it's not going to take long now.
No.
And you even saw it today when that sun came up.
Yeah, there was
some of those trees
yellow.
that started a little bit yellow.
Yeah.
We are going to do a little rapid fire Q&A, a little riff sesh, hold a gun to your head, proverbial gun. You have to give us an answer.
Yep.
We've got some questions about the season upcoming and just what we think's going to happen. Some predictions, bold predictions, hot takes. You can call them what you want. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
I give you a drum roll, but I don't have the sound effect. Let's just start right at the top. Question number 1, will it be an early rut?
Yeah, my initial thoughts are no. I think it's probably going to lay out pretty normal. Reason being, number 1, I think it's still pretty dang warm. And looking at the forecast, it's going to stay pretty warm for a while. I say no, but I think that we're going to see a lot more movement than years past earlier. Just because it seems, you drive around right now and there's combines everywhere.
Yeah.
Crops are getting picked. They're really baling the hay right now. So it's like, I feel like especially the spots that we hunt, whenever the crops come out, it tends to get a lot better. So I think it's going to feel like maybe something's going on, but I think in reality, it'll probably still lay out pretty normal. Kind of like the first year that we hunted together.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the reason I think we kind of I came up with that question is we talked about this the other day. I was like, man, is it going to be an earlier rut this year? Because it does feel like everything is happening. Like everything feels really ready in the fields. It's like, man, these guys are really getting out there.
Yeah.
And it's not abnormal to get to the end of September, beginning of October, and to see guys out there doing beans. But then you're also seeing corn that looks like it's ready to be picked.
Yeah, ready to roll.
And it definitely feels like things are going to start getting kind of moved around. You know what I mean? More than maybe a little bit normal.
Yeah.
The thing I think it makes you feel so farther along in northern Iowa is when you're seeing cornfields really getting picked.
Yeah.
It's like, man, there's cornfields picked. It's not even October 1st yet.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
So if you held the gun in my head and said, is it going to be an early rut? Man, I don't know. And I know we said yes or no, but it's like, I feel like the only person, and not even the person, who knows if it's going to or not going to be is the deer, and they're not going to tell us.
Yeah. Wish they would. That'd be cool.
They know, and they ain't telling.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting with that red moon in the end of October.
Yeah, definitely.
My caveat is because if you look at the tender right now, there's a lot of warm weather.
Yeah.
Which in October there can be a lot of warm weather. We've talked about this before, that October lull. So if we keep this really warm weather and it goes really warm through most of October, then it's probably just going to lay out how it's going to lay out. But if all of a sudden that hot weather in these 80s, all of a sudden the floor drops out, and it gets really cold, and then we have that red moon, I think it could get pretty interesting.
Yeah,
again, like we've talked to biologists, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of literature and there's a lot of stuff out there about the reason and when does go into estrus.
Yeah.
Is it due to the weather? Is it due to the crops? No. It's due to the light during the day and how much light there is. And then when that happens, and then the does start to go in extra. So like scientifically, they're going to do what they do pretty, right on. Yeah. But again, I think what we're referring to is the activity that we're going to see, and the rut, meaning the rut that the way that we're hunting the rut. Yeah. Is it going to get really good early, or is it going to lay out normal? Is it going to get good late? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing it's a wild card too is that it never lays out the same.
No, never.
You know what I'm saying? Like last year, it just felt like it was never going to happen.
Yeah, it was really weird last year.
The year before, it felt like it laid out pretty good.
Yeah.
But, and then it's just always so different. Mm-hmm. What you think and how it's going to go is not how it goes.
Yeah.
So, it's like trying to pick the Powerball numbers.
Yeah.
We know what the numbers are, but you can't put them in the right order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we all know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
But you got to put them in the right order. And that's, I feel like, the whitetail rut.
Yeah, and it's funny, too. I mean, I think we talk a lot about, that first October cold front, and it's like, you think about the first year we hunted together, October 10th was that first real big cold front, and it felt like the rut that morning.
Yeah.
It really wasn't, because I remember it kind of slowed down for, a week or so after that before it really picked up, but I just think that, the weather plays such a huge part in it, too, because that cold front, we saw a ton of activity. It felt like
saw bucks kind of bumping does and moving around.
Yep, exactly. So I think, there's so many things that there's a lot of variables with it, I guess I could say. So.
Yep. All right, next question. Let's get into this. I'm trying to pull them up here. Here we go. Right along the same lines that we're talking about, we talk about weather. Will we have a hunt in the snow before November? I'm going to answer it first. I'm going to say no, but man, that would be awesome if we did.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have and you know what? That's probably the reason it will happen, but I don't think we're going to have a snow before November.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would probably lean towards too.
And honestly, in the northern half of Iowa, we have a better chance than the southern half.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have a snow before November.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Not really rare. It happens, but it just feels like, especially with how warm it is right now, the ground's going to be so warm for quite a while yet.
Yeah.
We'll need a good couple of freezes for any snow to stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even more than a couple of freezes.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe we'll get some flurries at some point. I hope so. I love that stuff, man. That's fun.
Yeah, I remember there's been times that, Halloween, having the kids go trick-or-treating, and I'm sneaking out the morning of Halloween, and it's been like just a dusting on the ground or snow in the forecast for the afternoon.
Yeah, for sure.
It could happen, but you never know.
I should look back and see the first hunt we had in the snow our first year together, because I know that we had a couple.
Yeah, yep.
I don't remember what the dates were, but.
All right, still talking about the weather. Will we get the October cold front? Yes or no?
Yeah, we will for sure, I think.
You think so? See, I'm going to just because to play devil's advocate, I'm going to say we aren't going to get the October cold front. It's going to stay, we're going to stay hot, and it's going to make it real finicky.
I think we will, and I think if you look at the 10-day, at the latter half of the 10-day, it gets a little bit cold, a little bit rainy.
Yeah.
I think that's going to push a solid cold front within the next 2 weeks, I think.
with all of your not meteorology experience.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, and like I said, I would love that. Yeah. I would be totally fine if we came off this 80-degree weather and all of a sudden we looked at our phone and it's like, oh, tomorrow morning is 28 degrees.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yep, sign me up.
I was just gonna ask, what does the temp have to be to count it as a cold front?
Well,
35 maybe.
Yeah, below freezing is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get some below freezing days, like the other day when it was 41, that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's got to be a frost. It's got to be something that's going to get deer going, okay, this is chilly. You know, like gets them up and moving around.
Yeah.
Just snap somewhere. It's almost just like how we can go out in a sweatshirt or you can go out in a long sleeve shirt and it's no big deal. But all of a sudden you walk out the door one day and you're like, man, I got to put something else on. Mm-hmm. That's not enough. That's what it has to be for deer. And I think for me, that's like below freezing.
Yeah.
If it could be in the 20s, oh, baby.
God, I keep thinking about that first cold front hunt we had.
When we had that cold front, when we saw Mega, that was, if I remember it was like 28 degrees.
I think it was.
That was cold.
Because I was wearing a lot of your camo that day.
Yeah, that was cold. I mean, it was cold in the fact of we had warm weather in October, and that first cold one, it honestly kind of feels like worse.
Yeah.
Because it's like if we were in end of December and we had a 28-degree day, we'd be like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right, so that would be really fun if we had a cold front. We'll see how that squares out.
Yeah.
This one you have to come up with a 5-day date range.
Okay.
What day are we killing a giant? We're doing a little manifestation here. What day?
Between the 3rd and the 8th of November.
Yeah, see. No, you can't. No takebacks. No double takebacks, or whatever he says. No takebacks. What were you going to say? What were we going to change it to?
20th or 25th, maybe.
Whoa, you're
October.
going way. Oh, I thought you were going to say November. I was like, whoa, you're going late.
Of October, maybe.
But you're going to be gone. No, that's right before. That's right before you leave.
Right before I leave.
Right. Ooh, wow, that's a bold take.
Because I think
that's a hot take.
I feel like that's kind of when the crops will be really coming off, and I think I could see one of our first couple hunts down on the bottom could be just cherry.
Yeah. See, I wish that the crops in the bottom would get taken out by like October 25th.
Mm-hmm.
I am not putting any money on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think those crops are going to come off around, like November 2nd to the 10th.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was thinking is like the 4th through the 9th.
Okay.
That's what I was kind of thinking, which is kind of interesting because
close.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like that first week in November can be really, really a bummer.
Yeah.
Because you're like, they can just get to the point where they're kind of getting locked down. But we've had World Traveler the beginning of November, and he has kind of surprised us where it's like, holy cow, there he is.
Yeah.
And then he's just gone. So I have a feeling we're going to get in that little beginning of November window. And honestly, I would even venture to, I'm going to change mine. I'm going to say 1st through the 5th.
Okay.
Yep. I think it's going to be right there.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Okay, next question. This is really only for us because it doesn't affect anybody else. Is World Traveler alive?
Should we go 3, 2, 1 and then say it?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
No.
Yes. I think he is.
I don't think he is.
I think he is.
Nope.
Maybe that's just I'm too optimistic, but
yeah, I mean, here I'll say both sides of it. The reason he could be alive is because, in my experience, mature deer, the older they get, the smaller their home range becomes.
Yeah.
And so we've watched that deer the last couple of years. We're somewhere in his home range, whether we're on the east side of it, the west side of it. I don't think it's a north-south thing. It's an east-west thing.
Yeah.
Because we've got kind of natural barriers that would make sense that this would be where he would stay. So we're somewhere in that home range, somewhere. And he's shown himself on camera in that range pretty consistently over the last 2 seasons, last year and the year before.
Yeah.
And the year before that? No. Last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, we got past last fall, and he has been MIA. Now, to your point, or to the point I just made about your point, if he's gotten older, which he has, and his home range has gotten smaller, could he still be skirting us and his range kind of just shifted? Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
That feels like that is the real bummer about the spot that we hunt, is that there are deer there and a lot of deer pass through there, but when deer get bigger and more mature, it feels like where they want to be is not there.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't have the unbelievable bedding areas that they want to be. It's where they pass through, going from their bedding to feeding to water and everything else. They get coming through there during the rut, but that's not where they want to That's not where they want to bed down.
That's not where they live.
Yep, that's not where they live. That is not where they build the condo and sit back and watch TV.
Yeah.
That is not where they want to be.
Yeah.
And so when they get to that age, it just seems like what I've seen in the past is all of a sudden they just kind of shift.
Yeah.
And so he could be alive. We may just never see him again.
Yeah.
But I think the other problem is there's, like a lot of places in a lot of states, not just Iowa, a lot of guys out there hunting.
Yeah.
And if that deer walks by
Anybody.
if that deer walks by 10 guys, how many? 8 out of 10 kill that deer?
Probably.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know about 10 out of 10 because there's guys that are picky.
Yeah, I guess.
There's guys like me that are picky or guys that are trying to grow big deer.
Yeah.
That would probably be like, oh man, if he had another year.
Yeah.
But most people, they're absolutely smoking that guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, from a probability perspective, he walks by like he was walking by around with us, and he does that, makes the wrong move. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the reason I'm kind of optimistic about it is because the first year we had him was a corn year, and we only had one picture of him in the summer, and then he showed up again like in November.
Yeah.
That's what I'm banking on. Now the tricky thing about this question is like, is he alive? Yeah, sure, but the bigger question is if he's alive, are we gonna see him? And that's kind of like what you're saying. Like he's gonna have a little bit smaller range. You know, I don't know, but I'm trying to be optimistic about the season as a whole, and that's one big thing that I'm trying to speak into existence.
Well, we've talked about this over the last few podcasts. I feel like whitetails and a lot of animals, it's a pyramid. And the lower you go on the pyramid, the more animals at a lower caliber there are. And when you get towards the top of the pyramid, there's just a lot smaller, there's a lot less of them. I don't feel like we've seen the top of the pyramid yet.
No.
And those deer are out there, and we get them on camera, it's going to be like, holy cow, here we go.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting. And like I said, I really hope he's alive. That would be so awesome.
Man, it'd be sweet.
Oh, jeez. All right, next question. Are we going to see EHD rear its ugly head between now and in the next couple weeks? Because remember what Jay said. He said, talk to me after Labor Day. Well, now we're a month after Labor Day.
Yeah.
But the faucet has kind of turned off.
Yeah, it definitely has.
I mean, since we got back from New Mexico, when we were in New Mexico, before we left for New Mexico, it has been dry.
Yeah.
You walk out there, you're walking out in your yard, you're out in the woods, and it's just drying up.
Yeah.
The reason that everybody's in the fields right now is because the fields are dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes the fields are ready to go, but the fields aren't ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The corn's ready to go. The ground's not ready to go. The ground's ready to go.
Yeah.
It has been dry. But the interesting... Can I answer first?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm really going all... I'm going to have a conversation with myself here. Sometimes, just...
Let her rip, tater chip.
Yeah. My answer to that is no. I don't think we're going to see the EHD pimple.
Yeah.
The reason is because I think in northern Iowa, wherever you go, even as dry as it's been, we're seeing a lot of water. The rivers are not down. This morning, there is tile that's running off these fields right to where we are, and that's the spillway right there that makes this little creek. That was a waterfall. We're sitting there listening to it. I'm like, listen to that water.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's water down in that little dried up pond. It's not a dried up pond. There is a creek running through it with a little bit of a marsh sitting there, water. I'm like, we've never seen water in there. There is water.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, like I said, again, we had a lot of water in May, June, July.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like we've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
That's my unscientific
scientific
answer to that. Around here, I think the answer to that is no.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I think I would.
I mean, no. I said yeah to your no.
Oh. No, I think I feel the exact same way. It seems like just as a whole, everything seems a lot wetter this year. And I think this morning was like a big kind of eye opener to me. I've never seen that little dried up pond look like that before.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And like last year at this time on like Iowa Trophy Bucks and Iowa Bow Hunters like Facebook pages and stuff like that. I mean, every single day there was multiple posts of guys finding dead deer, and I haven't seen
any of that.
anything. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I had a conversation with a buddy from Pennsylvania the other day, and Pennsylvania and Ohio sounds like they are right in the thick of it right now.
Yeah.
You know, Ohio especially.
Yes.
Sound like they are really, really in the thick of it.
Yep.
Which that's a little disheartening for what we have coming up with, you know, you and Buddy being in Southern Ohio. So we'll see how that squares out.
Yeah.
But Pennsylvania too sounds like they're kind of holding their breath. So I don't know. It's like I said, I think the other thing that this isn't one of the questions, but I'm really interested to see is, you know, we saw such a devastation last year with EHD across the state.
Yeah.
They ran the deer density reports. They put those out. They put out the new EHD CWD report, kind of really changing their perspective and narrative instead of like, we can conquer this. It's like, how do we maintain?
Yeah.
You know, like this is here to stay. Buckle up, you know, buttercup, here we go.
Yeah.
And to your point, on social media last year, you were seeing all this stuff about all these guys finding all these dead deer. Be really interesting to see how the season lays out for a lot of people this year, because we're kind of in that. It's like if EHD happens, again, I'm Mr. Analogy, so EHD happens and then there's 3 waves or 3 seasons after that, you would think that hopefully as those waves keep coming in, the deer start to bounce back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think this wave this year is going to be not as big of a wave, because there's just less deer.
Right.
And then you hope next year it's a little bit bigger, and the deer that made through got a year older, and then the next year the wave gets a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And hopefully we keep some wet late summer, early falls.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Where it doesn't rain like crazy and then just turn the faucet off and have what we had last year. So be interesting to see how it squares out for people this season.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I will say that, you know, having known how bad EHD was last fall, there was still a lot of whitetails at the Iowa Deer Classic.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It didn't feel like the room was half empty.
Yeah.
Like those trophy rooms.
Yeah, no, definitely. And felt like the majority of our spots, actually almost all of our spots, felt like they were still pretty good yet.
Well,
up around here.
Our private spots, the public spots, they got a couple public spots got pounded.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like majority of the places that we hunt.
We got really lucky, I think. Yeah, we got really lucky. And like we've talked about this a lot. It was pockets.
Yeah,
pockets here and there, pockets here and there.
Yep.
And the places that got hit.
Yes.
You know, so. But yeah, no, I be interested to see how it all squares out.
Definitely. Hopefully we're right.
Yeah. Come on, Jace. Make it right. No. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is a big one. I think this is going to lead to a lot of discussion. This is a real riff sash.
Yeah.
When the dust settles at the end of the season, what things and or changes would you have liked to have made at the beginning of the season? When you look back at the end of the season, you go, man, hindsight being 2020, I wish we would have done this.
Yeah.
What do you think those things will be? What do you think those things will be?
I think for me personally, you know, trying to make the most out of like every opportunity I can to hunt.
Yeah.
You know, filming kind of all week. If Cole can't hunt on a Sunday night or a Saturday night, like just pack my stuff and go to a piece of public and just get in there and hunt and not just lay around, you know.
Yeah.
You only get, you know, really 3 months to hunt, so make the most out of it. So
yeah.
I'd say that, and then just which I think we already have a great start to this, just thinking outside the box, you know.
Yeah.
So those would be mine.
Yeah, I think for me, the reason this came up is because, you know, sometimes at the end of the season you go, man, if I would have just done this differently at the beginning, that may have made all the difference.
Yeah.
And thinking back on the last couple seasons about kind of those types of things, and I think the other kind of piece to the puzzle of that is that, and this is context. The place where we do the majority of our hunting, we both only lived 25 minutes away from there. Now we live an hour away from there.
all of an hour.
All of an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you stop at Quick Star or anywhere else, you're looking at an hour and 15. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, you're just adding on the time.
Yeah.
So it's a drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a drive. It's a drive in the morning. I mean, let's just walk through it. This morning we decided we wanted to do a hang and hunt.
Yep.
Okay. So, and again, the caveat, I like to be early because I'd rather not be late.
Yeah.
So sunrise is at 7. Sunrise is at 7. We can shoot by 6:30-ish. Okay, well, let's just plan on, we want to be sitting by 5:30, 5:45, knowing that it's going to be light at 6:30. So you want to be out there a half hour before to be really settled in, just let everything calm back down at least.
Yeah.
So then we said, okay, well, if it's light at 6:30, let's just try to be in there and be ready by 5:30.
Yeah.
And then we had to set a stand and walk in. So it's a 20-minute walk in. So that 5:30 turns into, let's just say 5:10. But now you have to set a stand.
2 stands.
2 stands. And you don't know where you're going to set them.
Yeah.
So you got to try to find a spot. So then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now let's just say it's basically 5 o'clock. Well, man, we probably want to be in there by like 4:15, 4:30 if it's going to take 20, 30 minutes at least at the minimum.
Yeah, to find the tree.
Yep.
Get everything set up, get camera gear set up.
So that indo facto means that we want to be in the lot by 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's walk that back. Well, being in the lot at 4 means we have to leave town. I got to pick you up at no later than 3:15.
Yeah.
We're going to be pushing it to get there at 4 o'clock if we leave by 3:15.
Yeah.
So today we just said, okay, I'll pick you up at 3:15.
Yeah.
Well, that means that I got to be leaving my house by 3:05.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take a shower, which I didn't take a shower, I just put on the deodorant and grab my clothes and just let her rip. Same clothes I wore with Jet on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is a testament again to his honest, because we had deer directly downwind and they didn't even lift. But so then picking you up at 3:15 means I'll be in my house at 3:10. But then I got up set my alarm for 2:30. Let it ring until 2:40, got my clothes on, and then out the door.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, instead of having to, get up at a normal time, like 5, I'm getting up at 2:30.
Yeah.
Especially setting the set made it longer. Mm-hmm. But just this whole hour drive in the morning or hour drive in the afternoon, it's making it in the evening is making it more.
For sure.
And so I feel like that's my long disclaimer or my long context to say that I feel like, especially this year, the thing that is, I think, forcing me to do is go, okay, if we're going to go through all this, let's put our best foot forward.
Yep.
Let's do the absolute best thing we can. And sometimes not that there's like wasted sits, but sometimes I think that, and I can fall into this, you just kind of go to go.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like, oh, well, you don't like, it's not that you're trying to put pressure on yourself, but you just kind of go, well, you kind of fall into a routine of, oh, let's just sit here and let's just do this. And this is where I like to be. And this is the right stand on the right day on the right wind. Let's just go there. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, you're like, oh, it's October. Oh, it's just sometimes you, sometimes you don't, da, 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 da. But I feel like when we're driving an hour, it's like, man, I want to maximize every time we're out there to do the best we can. And so I think so for me, looking back, when I look back at previous seasons and think about kind of with the context that I just gave, we even talked about that today. Just don't overthink it. Yeah. And be bold on what we're doing and where we're going. I think the reality for us is that, I think we fall into the group that a lot of guys are in. Everybody wants to have the type of land that they hunt that they can grow big deer and kind of plan year after year and watch a deer be 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, and manage and have food plots and everything else. That's not us. Mm-hmm. And part of it is we don't have food plots, but the other part of it is that we don't have a bunch of neighbors that are like-minded in doing that same thing, which is I think what a lot of people run into. Right. And then we aren't even talking about public land. You know what I'm saying? Where kind of it's a free for all. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes what I fall into is I try to kind of plan and build from season to season to season. But I think what I'm realizing is, especially this year, I'm just going to take this season for what it is. I'm not going to try to think about what it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
I'll think about what has happened in the past, but I'm going to just really focus on what do we need to do right now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And maybe that means that my standards are going to come down a little because it's like there's deer that I have passed. Oh man, if that deer could get through one more year and never see him again.
Right.
Well, why is that? Because the neighbor down the way or whatever, wherever that deer ends up, he's not waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
He's shooting it now. He's not waiting for tomorrow. He's shooting it now.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like, look at Thermal Hub. We were just down in there switching batteries out today, and we're like looking at it and we're talking about it. And I'm sitting there and go, you know, are we just overthinking this place? Like, we can sneak in from right here. Look at this nice trail.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's where we can come in from that I had no idea. Yeah, maybe, you know, like when we were trying to come in from the east and you're walking through all this and that and you're coming down the hill and da-da-da-da, I'm like, why don't we just come in from right there?
Yeah.
You know, like even what we did this morning, like, why don't we just do a hanging hunt?
Yeah.
You know, we can get in there for a southeast wind. Like, let's try it.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. And so I feel like just being more bold and not overthinking it.
Yeah.
And just trying to, how do we squeeze the most out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when I used to guide, we would get down to the end of a hunt, and we'd have a client that, man, he had hunted really, really hard and had done everything right and was good. Was a great listener and was, just awesome about being accommodating to how the hunt played out. But you got down to the second to last day and the last day, and we would kind of sit around and be like, all right, we have to shoot an elk.
Yeah.
We got to get this guy one. How do we do that? Like, like our life depends on it here. Let's get this guy a bull. Like, he has saved all this money. He's here. He's a cool dude. Let's get him one.
Yeah.
And when you start to think like that, sometimes it can work out. You know, like,
exactly.
you know, you make bold moves and you do things, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, man, that worked.
Yeah.
Gotta love when a plan comes together. And so I think that, not that we're going to be reckless and like just pressuring it and blowing it up, but I think we're just going to be more bold.
Yeah.
And we're going to get after it a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I feel like I already hunt pretty aggressively because of the ozonics.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to rev it even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think what I mean by that is like, I'm always real picky about like how we try to get in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but this year I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
I like it.
Oh, this is off subject 100%. Tell the funny story about what happened this morning.
Oh yeah, we're walking in and
so the only thing about when, and Nick could tell you this, when I walk in, I like to try to walk like a deer. I'll stop here and there. You know what I mean? Just stop for no reason. Because last time I checked, you never just see a deer just walk constantly through the woods nonstop. They just randomly stop and they scratch here and there. They look around, they smell, they look back down, they walk 5 steps, they stop and they look. And so, you know, I was always taught as a kid, don't walk like a hunter, walk like a deer.
mm-hmm.
So, you know, and sometimes when we're like out on the edge, you just march right along.
Mm-hmm.
But you start to get in the woods and I'll stop. Like, hey man, just stop. And we'll stop and I'll kind of huff. I'll stomp my foot real light or kind of, scoff on the ground a bit. So go ahead, pick it up.
Yeah, so we get to this kind of spot and we're sitting there, Cole stops, he's stomping his feet, waits there for a second, takes one step, and steps on it wasn't even like a twig snap. It was like
a lightning bolt.
It was like the loudest branch crack ever. And it just like
it sounded like this.
Yeah, like we're over here.
Crack!
I mean, it was crazy. Like I was like, what branch was under him that made that loud of a noise? Like it was oddly loud.
It was oddly loud.
Like it like echoed.
Yeah, and it was a completely dead white stick that was about the size of a broomstick. And I saw it in front of me. And you know, when you walk, you kind of put your foot down and you kind of feel like, okay, is this going to make noise? And it felt fine. I didn't think it was going to. And man, it was the perfect break.
It was so funny.
It was so loud.
It was so funny because like we're going real quiet. He just turned around. We just started laughing.
So I was just like going. I'm like, oh. I turned around to Nick.
We just started laughing.
Because usually sometimes when Nick walks like that, I'm like, hey, bro, quiet down. And then here I am breaking the biggest stick of all. That was like the loudest stick break ever.
Yeah. No, it was funny.
I think the one saving grace in there right now is there's a lot of walnuts falling out of the trees.
There's so many.
Just falling.
It tricks your brain a lot throughout the hunt.
Oh, yeah.
You think there's a deer back there or something, but it's just walnuts. When we were in the summer, we were hanging sets. I don't think you knew this, but I had a walnut fall right on my back. I was bent over and it felt right. Gosh, it hurt.
Jed had a walnut fall on him on Sunday.
Yeah.
It hit him right in the head.
Really?
But it was an old, like really like rotted out one.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and it landed like, it hit him in the head and then it landed on his stomach and his waist. He's like, hey.
Yeah.
And he's like, where'd that come from? I'm like, where do you think it came from? It came from under the tree. We're sitting in a walnut tree.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got in there quiet and got snuck in. But gosh, I just was so mad at myself when I hit that branch.
Yeah, that's all right.
Didn't make any difference. It.
Yeah, didn't make any difference. That deer on us quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, but no, like you said, so when this podcast airs, we'll be, like you said, still kind of right at the beginning of the first week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll still be right in the middle of this warm.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang. But like you said, there's some rain in the forecast. It'll be interesting to see how that starts to mix it up a bit.
And actually today when we post this, the day that we post this, it should be a north wind, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, this spot for us, north winds are a bit more conducive.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yep.
So.
All right, well, another podcast in the books. So it was Onyx Killerwinds podcast. Thanks for listening. Got the nuke. You got me. Hey, if you're out there, good luck.
And be safe.
That's another thing. Always a little public service announcement. Put on a safety harness. Go get yourself a lifeline. Make sure you're tied in.
Yep.
It's always a good idea.
Yep. See you next week.
Stay classy.